Shock: 235,000 Chinese reportedly took their own lives in 2023 due to debt. Insurance claims reveal pandemic truths: surge in serious illnesses among minors reported in China. Despair for A-shares triggers surge in Chinese investors buying Japanese stocks, halting trading. Intel CEO: China's chip manufacturing process lags 10 years, gap expected to persist. Analysis: the role of Taiwan's democracy in pioneering political change in China. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Shock: 235,000 Chinese reportedly took their own lives in 2023 due to debt. The Chinese economy is sluggish, with many residents struggling with debts from mortgages, car loans, etc. On January 19, a user named Li on the X platform posted a video stating that in 2023, 235,000 people in China took their own lives due to debt. This staggering number far surpasses that of South Korea in its year. In detail, Li reported that in May of the previous year, Mr. Guo, hailing from Changsha in Hunan province, tragically took the lives of his family and subsequently his own, all driven by a debt of over 1 million yuan, about $140,507. Similarly, in May, Ms. Wang from the Fuji-Link chain restaurants, unable to withstand the pressure from debt collectors, left a note and took her own life. In June, a man in Yubin, Sichuan, jumped into the Yangtze River due to an online loan of over 100,000 yuan, about $14,051. During this year's Mid-Autumn Festival, the 38-year-old so-called Chinese buffet and private equity mogul Guan Shanxiang also chose to take his own life. His death shocked the Chinese financial world. According to a Voice of America (VOA) report on October 5 last year, there are rumors that Guan Shanxiang heavily invested in real estate stocks, causing significant losses in his fund products. Some analysts believe that the lack of regulation in China's investment environment made Guan, a believer in value investing, a victim. His death is a true reflection of China's economic downturn. In response, Kai Shinkuan, a financial commentator based in the United States, told VOA, in China, whether it's the stock market or the entire investment environment, it's not much different from a casino, and casinos at least have some rules. However, China's securities and capital markets have no rules. Talking about value investing may eventually lead to a total loss. Like when Evergrande just had problems, many capitals intervened, thinking that the Chinese government would definitely come to the rescue, so they bought a lot of Evergrande bonds, but it now seems that they bet on the wrong direction. Regarding the topic of 235,000 people in our country taking their own lives due to debt in 2023, many users on the mainland short video platform Douyin said that 235,000 is an understatement. Maybe it's even more than this number. My son left in 2021, it should be true. There could be even more. There must also be many more people in line behind. Others pessimistically say, I believe it, because we are also struggling to get through each day. Tomorrow might be me, there's no way out, I can't see what's ahead, and being in debt of over 200,000 yuan is really hard for an uneducated person from the countryside. I am also in debt, and I deeply feel the pain of being in debt. People see my logistics company and think I have a lot of money, but my pockets are emptier than my face. I'm also in debt of 50,000 yuan, suffering, can't sleep at night, life is too hard now. According to news from the mainland investor vertical social media Snowball on October 30 last year, data from the People's Bank of China shows that in the first half of 2023, the number of people in debt in China reached 780 million, with about 310 million people overdue, and over 8.4 million people listed as dishonest and subject to enforcement. The number of people in debt and overdue is increasing every day, almost non-stop. Those who cannot repay their debts are uniformly labeled as defaulters, subject to various restrictions, especially in economic activities and travel, basically socially killing the debtor and indebted enterprises. Insurance claims reveal pandemic truths: surge in serious illnesses among minors reported in China. Recent reports from various Chinese insurance companies' 2023 annual claims reveal a concerning trend of a significant increase in serious illnesses among minors, with one insurer reporting a staggering 464.4% surge for individuals aged 0 to 17. The rise is particularly notable in diseases like leukemia, which tops the list of the highest incidence rates. Some Weibo users are pointing out that insurance companies can no longer endure, and they have disclosed the truth. In more detail, according to the hot list circulated on the mainland short video platform Douyin on the 17th, Ping An Health Insurance disclosed the highest incidence of critical illnesses in minors is leukemia. For adults, both male and female, the primary onset of malignant tumors is thyroid cancer, with lung cancer and breast cancer ranking second among critical illnesses in each gender. In the comments section of the aforementioned Douyin messages, a significant number of netizens are engaging in discussions about recent cases of leukemia. One netizen from Zhejiang expressed bewilderment, stating, "My wife passed away just last month. Today is the 7th day after her departure, and she suffered from acute leukemia with cerebral hemorrhage. There is no family medical history. I'm puzzled. How could she get such a disease at such a young age? Life is unfair." Another netizen from Shandong shared, "My brother was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia in October. He doesn't consume miscellaneous things like milk, tea, or alcohol, but he does smoke. His lifestyle is normal, and there is no family history. The only thing we can think of is that he recently went through a divorce due to betrayal by the other party. He has been unable to cope with his emotions, feeling down every day. I don't know if there's any connection, and I truly can't understand why he would get this disease. It seems misfortune specifically targets those already burdened with hardship." Some internet users have pointed out that COVID-19 or the Chinese vaccines may be causing health issues. Comments include assertions that the vaccines are the main culprits, expressing concerns about the increasing prevalence of strange and frightening diseases. There are sentiments referring to a peak killing period and expressions of sorrow and distress, attributing conditions like leukemia, cancer, heart attacks, and strokes to questionable practices for monetary gain. In a separate development, numerous leukemia patients on the mainland have issued an open letter, claiming that they developed the disease due to receiving Chinese vaccines and are now facing a lack of assistance. Patients with thyroid cancer in mainland China are getting younger and younger, and the incidence of lung cancer is also rising. As previously reported, a self-proclaimed renowned health and wellness blogger, military Dr. Zhou Xiaofeng, declared in a video on July 6 of the previous year, "Breaking news, young people are experiencing a surge in cancer. It's undeniable now." The blogger asserts that the entire internet and the public are now searching for the reasons, but the real causes are being suppressed online. Despair for A-shares triggers surge in Chinese investors buying Japanese stocks, halting trading. Over the past year, the Chinese and Hong Kong stock markets have been among the worst performers globally, experiencing significant declines. This downturn has led to a surge in Chinese investors buying Japanese stocks, causing trading suspensions and raising concerns about a mass exodus from A-shares. Despite the Chinese government's interventions, investor confidence remains shaky, highlighting the need for deep structural reforms for any potential recovery. Chinese investors, limited in their ability to directly access overseas markets, have turned to domestic ETFs tracking the Japanese Nikkei index, resulting in a substantial premium surge for onshore exchange-traded funds (ETFs), prompting a warning from the fund manager and a temporary suspension of trading. This shift, highlighted by Chinese expert Wang He, reflects growing disillusionment with China's economic and stock market prospects as investors seek more stable alternatives. In that context, China's National Development and Reform Commission (NDRC) has pledged to stabilize the economy and boost domestic demand. However, these efforts have seen limited success, as evidenced by the A-share Shanghai Composite Index's struggle to maintain stability. Wang He argues that without a complete overhaul and fundamental systemic reforms, China's stock market, dominated by state-owned enterprises and influenced by the Chinese Communist Party, is unlikely to recover. According to Wang He, the primary objective behind the establishment of the stock market was to address the financial challenges faced by state-owned enterprises in Communist China at that time. Currently, around half of China's stock market capitalization is attributed to state-owned enterprises. Many of these enterprises have resorted to various reforms, including going public on the stock market, to raise funds. Wang He notes that the performance of China's stock market differs significantly from other global markets. While stock markets in other countries often serve as economic barometers, he argues that China's stock market lacks this functionality. Despite being in existence for over 30 years, the stock market index in China has remained around 3,000 points, and this year it has even dropped below 2,800 points, which Wang He deems highly abnormal. Wang He asserts that the fundamental design of China's stock market by the CCP is intended to exploit investors, allowing privileged individuals and those with vested interests to amass wealth. He describes the Chinese stock market as a fundraising machine for listed companies, where investors have been exploited and harvested for decades, leading to widespread despair. He points out the stark difference in the number of listed companies in China compared to the US, calling for reforms that prioritize investor interests. The recent switch to a registration system for stock issuance, while a significant change, has not addressed the market's foundational issues. Corruption in the CCP renders stock market hopeless. Figures like Hu Xijin, former editor-in-chief of the Global Times, also acknowledge the tragic and absurd state of the Chinese stock market. This indicates that the market has become a metaphorical new clothes for the emperor. Despite its deteriorated condition, the authorities are forcibly maintaining it. Without such support, the market could collapse, reflecting its current sorry state. Since Xi Jinping assumed power, financial reforms have been introduced, but the deep-rooted issues in the stock market have not been addressed. The reluctance to confront these problems suggests a lack of political will, strategic considerations, or an attempt to win public favor rather than a genuine effort to tackle the underlying issues. Wang He contends that this situation signifies the decay of the Chinese stock market, the financial system, and the overall economy. The authorities either do not want to or lack the capability to resolve these issues. The corruption within the Chinese stock market and the Communist Party authorities are mutually reinforcing, leading to a seemingly hopeless scenario. Intel CEO: China's chip manufacturing process lags 10 years, gap expected to persist. According to CNBC, during the 2024 World Economic Forum annual meeting in Switzerland, Pat Gelsinger, the head of Intel, highlighted that China's chip manufacturing process is lagging behind by 10 years due to export policies and industry interconnectivity challenges. These export policies, enacted by countries like the Netherlands, the United States, and Japan, have set a benchmark at 10 to 7 nanometers for the Chinese semiconductor industry. Meanwhile, Intel and others are advancing toward chip technology below 2 nanometers. Gelsinger clarified that China's innovation is not lacking but stressed the industry's interdependence on components from various countries, including Zeiss lenses, ASML equipment assembly, Japanese chemicals, Intel's mask manufacturing, and more. Currently, China's leading foundry, SMIC, has 7-nanometer technology, trailing behind TSMC and Samsung by approximately 5.5 years. HLMC in Shanghai started producing 14-nanometer FinFET chips in 2020, placing it 9 to 10 years behind TSMC. Both SMIC and HLMC rely on tools and materials from different countries. Gelsinger believes these factors collectively create a 10-year gap, which is likely to persist due to existing export policies. Since 2022, the Biden administration's export restrictions on China, covering advanced chips, design software, equipment, and US-made components, seem to be effective in pushing China behind in chip manufacturing. Intel CEO also mentioned that a new chip manufacturing facility in Germany, currently under development, is set to become the world's most advanced manufacturing plant. Analysis: the role of Taiwan's democracy in pioneering political change in China. The presidential election in the Republic of China, Taiwan, has concluded, with the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, candidates Lai Ching-te and Xia Mei-chin emerging victorious as president and vice president, respectively. Recently, individuals from diverse ethnic backgrounds, representing overseas and Taiwanese perspectives, gathered for an international symposium to collectively explore the question, how can Taiwan's democratic politics guide political transformation in China? According to Gisang Jian, chairman of the Dalai Lama Foundation in Taiwan, since the implementation of the first direct presidential election in 1996, Taiwan has undergone 4 changes in political parties, providing its people with a democratic and free way of life. Taiwan has emerged as the democratic beacon of Asia. The success of democracy in Taiwan serves as a testament that Chinese culture, like cultures worldwide, can harmonize with modern democratic governance. Taiwan has positioned itself among advanced nations globally, demonstrating the capability and wisdom to construct a robust democratic constitutional system. Gisang Jian expressed the belief that mainland China, with its people sharing a common culture and identity, also has the potential to develop a society based on freedom, democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. Universal values know no boundaries. The International Symposium aimed to showcase Taiwan's democratic achievements to the world through electoral observations, sharing experiences, and fostering consensus. The ultimate goal is to encourage mainland China to embrace democratization, ensuring fundamental human rights and genuine freedom for regions like Tibet, Xinjiang, Mongolia, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and the broader Chinese population, who have long suffered under the authoritarian rule of the Chinese Communist Party. Taiwan's democratic experience proves Chinese can choose democratic governance. Chen Kueda, executive chairman of the Princeton China Society, highlights the contrast between Taiwan and mainland China, emphasizing Taiwan's democratic success. In 2022, the per capita GDP of the Republic of China, Taiwan, reached $35,510, surpassing Japan and South Korea to become the leader in East Asia. In stark contrast, Communist China's per capita GDP stands at $12,741, merely one-third of Taiwan's level. According to the Freedom House 2022 Freedom in the World report, mainland China is labeled as not free, scoring only 9 out of 100 points, whereas Taiwan is rated as free, earning 94 points. This substantial difference reflects a gap of over 10 times between the two. Chen Kueda poses the question, which revolution holds legitimacy when examining the legal origin of the two sides, the 1911 Xinhai Revolution or the 1949 Communist Revolution? He asserts that under the rule of the CCP, shocking violent events such as land reform, anti-counter-revolutionary campaigns, anti-rightist movements, the Great Famine, the Cultural Revolution, the Tiananmen Square massacre, and the CCP's concealment of the COVID-19 pandemic, resulting in millions of deaths globally, have occurred. Additionally, he notes the international community and democratic alliance's disapproval of the CCP regime. Chen Kueda concludes that the true constitutional democratic legal tradition in modern China lies within Taiwan's Republic of China. Professor Li Yutan, a concurrent professor at the National Development Institute of Political Science at National Chengchi University, asserts that Taiwan, as a cultural heir to Chinese heritage, has aligned itself with Western liberal and democratic civilizations through democratization. In contrast, the CCP ranks at the bottom globally in terms of internet freedom, according to Freedom House. Despite this, the CCP continues to use the thoughts and viewpoints of Sun Yat-sen in its efforts to influence Taiwan. Professor Li suggests that global Chinese intellectuals with aspirations could draw inspiration from Sun Yat-sen's ideas to counter the CCP's anti-unification efforts, thereby promoting democratization in China and achieving the goal of sovereignty in the hands of the people. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. If you find the information helpful, please share this video with a friend to watch together. This will be a great source of motivation for our team to produce more and more quality and reliable videos. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths. Thank you for tuning in.